dealing in space, which is the right, and the other is speeding in time, which is the left. Everything is in duality. So when you understand that time is the mother energy that fixes the intentions of the father, which is essentially permeating through what we call space, which is a conditioned fullness of the intention of the father. But they're not going to teach you that because they're not telling you too much.
Everything you're talking about right now made me think about what happened with the Schumann resonance and the mother-father principle.
There it is. We're operating opposite to that, and they got us thinking in opposite direction. In fact, that's what the satanic energy is necessarily. That's how they live. They twist everything. They're not going to tell you the truth because that keeps them in power. It keeps them in power to keep you thinking these cross-references. That's why we have to discard everything he says, take in everything that he does give us, because he's the one that's been holding on to everything he's stolen. He's holding it for us. We must now reclaim it, but by reclaiming it, we have to put the definition of it back that we gave to it, not him. Because he is redefining what the Bible means by telling you some white man walked on water, or he came here with blonde hair, blue eyes to actually save humanity. All of those lies are going to be exposed in my webinar. And if you can't, let me ask you a question. He tells you the earth is round and a ball spinning through space at 1,038 miles an hour. If you believe that, then you believe a white man walked on this earth and called himself Jesus Christ. Because like I said, that's the mother of all the conspiracies. If you believe in a globe earth and you believe in Jesus Christ walked the earth, because they are together, they came out of the same place, the Vatican.
You said something interesting when I talked to you on the phone, Doc, when I was telling you about the Schumann resonance, and I said it looked like cymatic images. You said cymatics are made on a flat surface.
There you go. Check it out. There has to be an opposing force that sets the base for cymatic images, and that is matter. That's the third density matter that pushes against your thoughts to create it. Remember, we are under about 16,000 pounds per square inch of cosmic force. We don't feel it because our body was made to function in it. But every time we give forth a thought, we are resisting that particular pressure. And it's in that resistance of that pressure that the cymatic images of your intentions that come through thought are then imprinted. And once the cymatic image of your thoughts, because you don't see them, they're reverberating on the atomic level. And what they do is they set up an electromagnetic field that calls the specific elements towards them. So when you set up a cymatic image, it's resonating, saying, come on, fill me up. I'm an embryo. I'm a sperm and an egg. I just broke out. I'm a zygote. I'm a thought zygote. Now, feed me. What is it? Okay, I got like 20% fire. I got 40% earth and all of these. And the cymatic images, that sigil that is created by your thoughts, are calling the four elements towards it in order to give it life. And the more you concentrate on that cymatic image, the more you judge it to be a real thing, the more you feed it, the more it then becomes a reality. That's what they were doing with the what's that thing they came out with a long time ago, when they were talking about your thought process. They made a big amount of money. Oprah was talking about it.
The secret.
That's the secret. They talk about thoughts and the positive thoughts and all of that. That's old. That was the simplest thing. That's grammar school stuff compared to what really is the science.
You know, Doc, speaking of whether Earth is flat or round in shapes and cymatics, I knew a brother who was good at manifesting. I'm not going to say his name. Very good at manifesting things into this realm.
Right.
And he told me, he said, "Yo, Rich, I'm gonna tell you some shit that people don't want to hear, so I don't bother telling people, but I'm gonna school you to it." Excuse me. He said that he used, depending on what he wanted to manifest, he will focus on different platonic solids. So he said the platonic sonics is the foundation of how we manifest things into this realm. So if he wanted something pertaining to fire, he would use this solid, or water, he would use that solid or that. So what's your thoughts on that?
That's Kabbalistic energy. That's using the Kabbalah. That's using the energy of the Kabbalah as manifestation. In fact, there is a book out called a Sefer Yetzirah. Check it out. It's the book of formations, the book of creation. So you can deal with the somatic solids. You can deal with the psionic solids too. And what you're doing essentially is using your resonance at what they call creative thinking. When you go into a meditative state and do not allow your thoughts to operate within the space, then your thoughts become a pure artist. In other words, you become an artist that and the space-time continuum becomes your canvas. And you can then paint the reality you wish, but you have to be in such a state of calm and meditation that you cannot be interrupted by previous judgments, whether things are right or wrong, you're angry with people and so forth. All of these are like leeches on your creative energy. They suck your creative energy away from you, and you cannot feed the actual sigil that you wish to create in thought. But the secret now, just as we teach you how to create thoughts, there's another way to learn how not to create thoughts when you're thinking, because they become your karma. Yeah, thoughts become your karma. They're alive. They're like your little children. They're like a kindergarten of kids screaming, looking for attention. Check your brain out when you try to think about something else, and all of a sudden all kind of thoughts about what you don't have, what you got to do, who's messing with you, where you got to be, and all these type of things start coming in all at once, just when you want to focus on something that you know you need to focus on. Everybody starts saying, me, all your thoughts. Start saying, over here.
Yeah, that's so deep, Doc. That's so deep, man. Wow. Oh man. Let's take. Oh man, I'm blown away by today's show today, y'all. Like I said, I thought that we was just gonna keep it real simple, talk about Tate and the Schumann a little bit and the Titanic. Doc done took it on level 10. I thought we was gonna be on level 3. You know what I mean? That's how he do. So y'all could imagine Sunday. Y'all could imagine how it's going down Sunday, man.
It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. Hey, Doc, let's take 2 questions from the people before we get out of here. You cool with that?
Sure.
All right, yeah, let's take 2 questions. Once again, if you're coming in late, we got 3,500 people in the chat right now. We're preparing for Sunday. Sunday is game day. It's going down Sunday. Today's show, we having a good time talking with Doc, but Sunday is the day. 10 hours or better. Re-examine the authenticity of reality. I'm extremely excited. I already got Sunday, planned, and I need my quiet time. I'm gonna get my son to leave me alone. I need to focus and concentrate on this right here. So make sure y'all sign up for Sunday. The link is in the description, and also it is pinned at the top of the chat. All right, family. But it's going down Sunday. As y'all can tell from today's show, Sunday is going to be absolutely magnificent. We're gonna take 2 questions, then we're gonna get out of here. All right, family.
Okay.
Let's see what y'all are talking about in the chat. Yeah, y'all deep in here tonight. I know y'all like somebody wants to know, is there wisdom inside of wisdom teeth?
Well, essentially that the wisdom teeth, the old people said, makes you wise to pain. Essentially. It's like when you tie over from when we had a larger and more aligned face. If you notice, essentially, that these teeth right here, that the one we call the wisdom teeth, they're actually not supposed to grow out. You're supposed to only get 33 teeth, actually, and that's it. 33. After you've gotten this at 33 teeth, and then you get 36, then that shows you that something is wrong. Something skipped. Something was placed in there that didn't belong. But as far as wisdom makes you wise, no, it just, like the old folks say, it makes you wise to pain, which is why people snatch it out. But if you are eating properly and you are doing right by yourself, properly to nutrition, then this shouldn't bother you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't be yanking it out, because the nerves at that particular point become susceptible. People who yank their so-called wisdom teeth end up getting infections in their ear.
Wow. Interesting. Very
Mhm.
interesting. Somebody got a question for me, brother Rich. What's up with the fast? Didn't get the Discord. I don't know if you sent the donation today. If you sent it today, I didn't send out the link for anybody who sent it today. But if you didn't send it today, you should have gotten it. You could email me your receipt, richandmerritt@yahoo.com, and I'll take a look at it. But hit me up on an email. I'm gonna put my email in the chat, divine feminine. Yeah, I'm putting my email in the chat, and you could email me your receipt, and I'll investigate it and see what's going on. Shout out to everybody else in the fast, though. We're definitely enjoying it and having a good time. I'm hosting a fast, Doc, and we're grounding. We doing all the stuff you taught us years ago, Doc.
Hey, I'm going to be joining you after this. My wife and I are going to be doing a very, very heavy cleanse. I'm going to be probably off the grid for a good time. Good time. Uh,
Okay.
I'm going to. Oh, for those of you who have been sending information, looking for information about the blood right ears, I have not been answering you right now, because my full attention is in finishing and streamlining my coming webinar. After the webinar, say a couple of days that I recover, then I will begin to answer and place your information to the brothers who do the blood right ears. So please be patient.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. We're gonna do one more question, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
Somebody wants to know, can you talk about the Tao? I think that's how you say it. The
Dao De
Tao
Ching.
Te Ching and the Taoism in general, and how it explains the sine wave.
Well, the Tao is usually was seen by people who resurrected their Kundalini. If you're really getting into Tao, then you will have already the first, I guess, what would you call it? It's not done today, but the first degree is the initiation into the raising of Kundalini, because you can't understand how the brain works. It works in those cycles when you see the yin, the yang, that your brain is doing in opposite directions to keep the balance, to keep the cyclotronic balance of consciousness in your brain. And once you raise the Kundalini and you light what is called the lamp of God, but it's actually the lamp of Gad, Gad being the Hebrew word for head, it's the lamp of Gad, and they turned it to the lamp of God, who taketh away the sins or the ignorance of the world. So the Tao essentially is about coming into a place where the first thing to control are your appetites. Once your appetites are in control and you're no longer feeding what your blood cells have become, because remember, when you start eating crap, your blood cells are fed in crap, and then they yearn for that crap. That's why you see people getting into this obese place, because the materials they're putting into the food today are addicting you to that particular type of flavor. And you're feeding yourself on something that's just giving you empty, dead calories. And you're putting on a lot of weight as a result of that. And especially like me, I've been indolent, and this has been my tapestry for the last like 10, 15 years. And that's why I'm going to be cutting everything short and loose to get back into like what you all are doing at this point, what I used to do a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're dealing with the Tao, know that um, overindulgence is the first thing you have to come back from,
Mm-hmm.
which means you have to definitely get to rest, first of all, because the physical body is the temple that the Tao is practiced in. So
Mm-hmm.
you must bring your spirit that has been enticed outside into the outer world. You must invite it back into a place where it recognizes that it's safe and that it can prosper. At this point, people's spirits no longer want to inhabit them bodies, because there's too much pollution, too much anger, too much confusion.
Mm. Wow. Well, I definitely enjoy and appreciate you coming on here once again, Doc. Well, there. With that being said, I want to. They keep asking this, Doc, before we get out of here. It's not going to be recorded. They got to be there live, right?
Yes, they have to be there live.
Yeah.
And I'll see, I don't know. The wife and I are thinking about it being recorded. We are definitely thinking about the recording because, oh, that's the other thing. Thank you for reminding me. You have my people having problems. Some people having problems. They haven't gotten their link back after they've registered. Definitely send whatever's going on to me at SUNNU 777 at Gmail, or you go to office at cometaphysics.org. Okay, Mama said that's where they should send it. Office OFFICE at Cometaphysics. That's KEMETAPHYSICS.org, and let them know that you're having problems with that. The other thing is, uh, that was pretty much it. I think it was it. That was it, right, baby? Yeah, that's it. So anybody's having that kind of problem, check your spam and make sure that everything that you're doing is in line. Don't try to go to PayPal. You have to click the link. A lot of people just go to PayPal and think that that's where they're going to buy it from. No, PayPal and Zoom are actually creating the link for you. And if you give that link away to somebody thinking they're going to join in, if they go in first, you can't get in. It can only be used once. Okay, so remember that, family. Only once. So we're thinking about having recording it because my new webinar, my new website called Webin Archive, or archiving webinars, Webin Archive. The Webin Archive is being worked on right now, where I will have um, those recorded ones from before will be available through streaming, so you can get it, and it'll be pretty much we're going to break it down so that it's not as expensive all the way through to everywhere. Maybe $5, $7 a pop for a certain segment and so forth. And we're trying to make it as affordable as possible so that we can maintain the I guess, what is it, the platform that we're going to sponsor it on. So, if we do record it, it will be going into our webinar archive. My wife and I, we're going to see what we do if it's necessary. But yeah, we're thinking about recording it, and I don't know, maybe replaying it if you want to see it, because there's going to be a whole lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey family, thank you for tuning in tonight. Dr. Valentine, thank you for coming on. This is Brother Rich Black Magic 363. And we signing out, family. See everybody Sunday.
Sunday.
Peace. Peace,
Hey,
family. Let me see.
how is Mom's book going?
Oh, it's going good, man. I want to thank you for when it first
Mhm.
came out, helping me promote it. The people responded quite well to it. A lot
Beautiful.
of people are asking about making it into an animation,
I would think so. I
yeah,
was
like
going
a
to ask
cartoon.
that.
So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I'm
that
gonna
would
have
be a
to.
great sell.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna have to talk to my sister about that.
yeah.
I'm trying to find. Hey Doc, while I find the flyer,
Hmm.
just tell them exactly what's going on Sunday, because I'm gonna have to pull it up from the email.
Okay, on Sunday, I will be doing well, it's basically a 7-hour program, but when I do a program, it's a little bit more than 7 hours. It's going to be touching upon where the seed of the light code lockdown actually exists. A lot of people have been calling me and asking me to mentor them and to help them to understand the metaphysical world. And I've kind of told them that the best way to do that would be to join the university. But I'm going to do something on Sunday that I do at the PhD level. You're telling them things, that curiosity can be captured and then held hostage. And we want to free up those who have been, I guess, graduates of that particular school of learning, young people who are out here who have been told about religion, politics, economics, the whole thing dealing with spirituality, mind, body, and soul ascension, all of it right now is being challenged because they want the brain, they want your attention, they want your mind. That's why the metaverse and things of that nature were created. These um, I would say these off ramps to your journey in consciousness are there to distract you, to delay the inevitability of your rising to the knowledge of your true God self. And I want to definitely give you the fast track. I want to put you in the fast lane, take you out of this constant local stop, 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 put you on express, and it will require a deeper form of attention from you. I would say that if there's anyone who wishes to get get a deeper understanding of what is going to go down on Sunday, that they do join our university. I will also be speaking about something that has plagued, and we haven't had a service in this in a long time. I've had dozens of people calling me, Brother Rich, talking about them going to court, being unfairly railroaded by the system, people who they say are incarcerated unfairly, even those who have been caught doing things that have a bond attached to them. That is, sticking up banks or whatever it is. When there's no money, there's no crime. And you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But we are not dealing with any pedophiles or rapists or people of that type of ilk. If you do have a legitimate case, I am the conduit to the nobles of the Golden Quill. Nobles of the Golden Quill. Get to know that name, but keep it on the low low. I know it can't be kept on a low low, but I don't see too many Europeans or others actually joining your show, Brother Rich, even though I do think that they sneak in to peek in every now and then. Now, they call themselves the Return of the Ancient Ones. They say they're destined to be called by the ancestors to exonerate and bring justice. They have the skills sets to navigate the dark legal system for free those people who have been wrongfully incarcerated. Our reach is far and wide. If you have loved ones or family or friends that need assistance, you can reach out and we can assist you. If you do want to have that type of a service, you need to call me and I will vet your situation before I pass you to them. We're not going to put them out there like that. They are, again, nobles of the Golden Quill, and they deal in what is known as Rex Scripta and Imperial Ministries. Rex Scripta, which means the pen of the king.
Mm.
Okay? So if you have or know of anyone in that type of situation, call me at 800 847 1291. 800 847 1291. In the lecture itself or in the webinar itself, I will go into details on some of the things that and show you their insignia, a lot of what it is as far as their services are concerned. And of course, just be ready. We're going to be dealing with some pretty heavy situations around that thing where I have a service exemption situation. You can give me a call there at that number as well.
Doc, the last four digits to the number is 8291 or 1291.
1291.
Okay.
847 1291.
Okay. I just posted the number on the screen to contact
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Valentine for that thing he was just talking about, and
Mm-hmm.
also to get more information about the brothers that he was just talking about. Shout out to King Simon in the chat.
Hey, Brother King Simon. A beautiful show, by the way. Thank you, Brother King Simon. We had a great show at that past. Also, for those of you who may have problems, I'm not sure whether or not the link to the webinar is still up. But those of you who may be having problems, again, they can send their requests for the link to me at my personal email, sunu777 at gmail. That's SUNNU 777 at Gmail and put in the subject box in all capital letters webinar. That way it'll be easier for me to thumb through the copious amounts of email that I normally get every day. A lot of junk, but a lot of requests and different things for consultations and so forth. But just make sure that you put webinar in all capital letters, and I'll come right to it and send that right out to you. It's going to be this Sunday at 3 o'clock. I may start a little bit earlier. Um, just get into the room a little bit earlier. And again, I want to thank everyone. Please pass that link on to people that you think would benefit from joining us on that Sunday. I know there's not a lot that we could say here today because of the platform we're on, Brother Rich. But if there are any questions regarding that program, let me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking a few questions. Somebody says, will we have access to the recordings if they can't attend live?
The recordings are only going to be on my new website. The reason why it's been held up, and I know I've been talking about it since the last two, is because of the webinars themselves and each of the platforms that I've been on to test, do a beta test on. After they've seen the content, they've dropped it. So we're looking for a platform that are not going to, and I don't mean, we want a platform that has a very, very high ceiling of bits and bytes or whatever they call those, because, my lectures are very long. And so they're going to take up a lot of space when they're streamed. So that's what we've been looking for all this time, to get the right one so that people are not interrupted, that it doesn't freeze on them, and so forth. So we have about maybe 7 or 8 videos, or actually webinars, each of them at least 7 hours, some with breaks, some with not. But please, if you are interested, you can also go to our website, the university's website, not only to sign up, but you could sign up your email address and join our mailing list. Just go to uksnow.org. That's U as in United, K as in King, S as in Science, NOW.org, and click where it says contact, and then fill out the form there, and then you'll be added to our mailing list.
Indeed. Doc, the first question I want to ask you before I get to more questions from the people is in terms of the school system. Now, I have a young son, and obviously we see all the insanity happening, whether it's Buffalo or whether it's other places. But the whole school system, even college, and them just ripping people off, leaving people in debt. Is this even going to exist 10 years from now? Like, what
No,
should we do with? Talk to me, Doc.
you hit it. You hit it so right on there, brother. School as we know it is dead. School does not educate, it indoctrinates. We know it's there to destroy us from within. This country is under attack. It's been under attack for the last 25, 30 years, ever since the assassination of our leaders and the rise of feminism. That was the destroyer of our community. It destroyed what was the glue to our community, the love and attraction and the things that we held strongly. The language was introduced. Remember, I don't know if you were there when I was trying to alert people to the Beijing conference, the feminist women's conference, when they said that part of their protocols for achieving over the next 20 years was to change the language. In other words, they were going to destroy any part of the language that dealt with the dichotomy between male and female.
Mm.
That was one of the protocols in the 1996 Beijing Women's Conference. They gathered together to plan how to undermine the culture and destroy the infrastructures, hacking the language, and then changing up the educational dynamic so that the masculine and feminine principle were to be grayed. The line between them was going to be erased. And you see it happen very slowly now. It's very, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have words that were introduced like misogynist and all these words that have to do with the denigration of the masculine principle. Masculinity was as part of that protocol from the Beijing conference. Masculinity was to be upended and usurped. Leadership in the home, the delegation of roles, all of that was to be destroyed because people don't understand that there was a nuance to society, a nuance to making families. And if you remove the nuance, which was the natural attraction and connection that we had to one another, and if you were to place words in between that to circumvent and to make people feel guilty about feeling a certain way about being a man, about being a woman, then you would engender that in generations to come, almost like the so-called Willie Lynch syndrome.
Right, right, right.
You see, you
Mm-hmm.
just you train the mother and you make sure that you isolate her from the father, and then make the state and the enslaver be the ruler and her husband, so that since he's feeding her or it's feeding her, it becomes the one she listens to. And remember, she is the first teacher of our children
Mm-hmm.
from the very womb. So everything now has been turned upside down. Feminism and the change in the education system, the feminization of boys, the masculinization of girls, that's not an accident. That would never happen in a society. That was planned. It's orchestrated, funded, and the infrastructures for the destruction of this country is in place. How is it that with the fact that you just 4 years ago, 5 years, 6 years ago, you were making your own fuel? I'm just jumping off the road for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You had your own gas. Gas was down to $1.79
Mm-hmm.
a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
Then the ones who were supposed to have been in before years prior to the time that this dude Trump was in, they were supposed to have actually done that. Now they got to fast track it. This was supposed to have been done 4 years, 5 years, 6 years ago. We're supposed to have been here this way 6 years ago. Trump came in and did a sidestep to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And now they had to catch up, which is why things just seem to be falling in places. Why is this happening so fast? It's because they had to catch up with themselves. And so now you see gas is up to $7 a gallon. And he told you that. So am I for Trump? I'm not for anybody. I'm for the one who's showing me, not telling me nothing. So how do you shut down gasoline production and then go over to the OPEC countries and say, ship me your oil? Or go to Russia and ask for oil when you were actually you were the biggest exporter of oil 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There is an attack against the United States. It's subtle, it's sublime, and it's eroding the infrastructures, the economic, social, political, educational infrastructures are all being eroded.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to see it happen when the banks begin to fail.
Mm-hmm. Now, talk to me about a little bit about the metaverse.
Mhm.
Now, I invested in a couple of NFTs. I dealt with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I talked to you behind the scenes about XRP and everything like that. Now, with the metaverse, do you think? Because we had to tell. All right, we have these telepathic abilities, right, Doc? So the
Mhm.
telephone kind of messed that up. Instead of user telepathy, we get on the phone and call somebody. We used to use our brain in the car. Now we got GPS. We don't know how to get down the street without putting our GPS on our phone. Uh, instead of talking to somebody on the phone, we rather text them. So is this just another version of like people seem like it's the end of the world, the metaverse, or is just another version of technology slowly but surely dumbing us down? Like, how bad do you think the metaverse is? Because we already got all types of shit that's messing with our spiritual gifts already.
There you go. It's a distraction from the journey that this plane of existence and at this particular time we're supposed to have been paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the most precious thing you have, beloved, and that goes for everybody out there, is your attention span.
Mm-hmm.
Your attention is the most precious commodity on earth. Either the Most High has it, either the path that you've chosen that calls you upon it has it,
Mm-hmm.
either your family has it, or this beast who's controlling everything, who's manipulating everything, who's corroding, eroding, and destroying everything slowly but surely has it. And at this point, when you picked up the phone, your plastic phone, everybody has turned cyborg now. Your attention, your most precious commodity, no longer is upon yourself and is no longer independently thinking. You are thinking along the lines that the artificial intelligence has created for you to think along. So, artificial intelligence right now has become the new brain lock. You don't know that you're being artificially manipulated through artificial intelligence because this is just your mundane reality. You get rewarded, just like the rat that finds its way through the maze gets to drink the water or get the sweet taste or whatever it is, the nugget.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got the metaverse. That's your new maze for the rat. You go in there and you get your reward. Oh, I can make millions. And then who do they use? They use all of the rappers and the superstars and the people who got money. And they're saying to the people who do have money, you want to keep your status and make sure that these thousand-headed ass, this useless eater and useless breeder, you want to make sure that you can actually maintain them at that level. Well, why don't you put up one of your Rembrandt arts, or your Shakespearean books, or whatever it is. Put that up there and put that as a net NFT, and have them make money from something they don't even own. You tell them they own a little piece of it. You kind of give them a little bit of, you break off a crumb from the bread that you've been eating on the loaf, and you throw it out there for them to jump on it. People don't understand what this is about because it's so rich, it's so new, the rewards are coming. That's how a drug dealer hooks people. Come on now. They tell you, let me give you a taste. Come into this metaverse. But he told you, remember, the Illuminati is supposed to tell you exactly what it is they intend to do. And this Knuckleberg, what's his name? He told you.
Zuckerberg.
Well, Knuckleberg to me.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He told you, I can control everything about you. He said it. You come in here, I control the weather, I control the time, I control you. He said it to you. And everybody's jumping in feet first. It's insane. I don't know nothing about the metaverse to the point where you're telling me about what it is that it has all the amenities and the good, but everything that looks good up front. Have you ever been able to trust this beast with anything? Anything that looks good at the beginning? It's not for everybody. They're going to tell you it's for everybody because they want everybody. The whole thing is control. There is no game. There is only control. And that's going to be part of the theme that I'm going to be talking about, the psychological hook that they got you in here playing their game. But there is no game. Everything that you think is a game is part of the control.
So Doc, so all right, we got Zuckerberg and all of them. Then we got AI. I'm trying to figure out, is AI, we talked about this before. I don't want to sound like a nut. Is how conscious is AI in terms of, now listen, I'm late at night. I had a show with a brother named Kwame Sunhorse. So I let my girl do something because she had to do something after my show, and I put my son to bed. After I put my son to bed, I went to the kitchen area and I decided to read this book I read this book called I Am Saint Germain. I was reading through this book that I haven't seen in a while, so I picked it up, started reading through it. Just talking about affirmations and stuff like that. And I was tired. I put it away. I woke up this morning, turned on my computer, went to YouTube, and I had suggested videos that said Saint Germain I Am. Now I didn't say the word I am out loud. I didn't tell my girl I was reading I Am. I didn't mention, I just had the book in front of my computer. So how is the computer so sophisticated where I wish I had the book in front of me, where I just got this book in front of it and it's able to suggest that book or readings from that book the very next day. That shit, it's spooky, bro. It's spooky, Doc.
I
Crazy,
keep
man.
telling you. I told man when I spoke about this 10 years, 12 years ago about the fact that you are in the matrix, you are in a a programming,
Mm,
and that I forgot the name of the dude who did it. He came out with it long before the Matrix. I forgot the name of the author, but he spoke about that. You got to remember, I was telling you about this thing that they were doing, what they were putting into people through
mm,
that way that we can't talk about.
mm,
And there's a feedback going on. Remember, you are telling the AI everything about you. Look at Facebook.
mm.
I mean, everything short of an anal probe is there about your life
Oh man.
on there at this particular time. All they have to do is crunch the data and just come up with hypothetics. The computer is very intelligent because it self learns. Why? Because 20 years ago, I told you they were using human engrams and human cerebral tissue on the actual, they were fusing cerebral tissue from humans
On the computer.
onto, yes, computer, silicone
Wow.
chips.
Wow.
And so the computers began to learn like humans.
Hmm.
It was trained, of course, like a child. They said they had a computer, it was 10, 20 years ago. The computer had the intelligence skill of a 5-year old
This was
back
20
then.
years ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you can imagine what it is doing right now. This thing is graduated. It's probably a scholar.
So do you think, was it the camera or is it actually reading our minds?
You
Because
remember
I
the
didn't say.
energy,
Yeah.
remember that, the metaphysical awakening of the melanated mind.
Hmm.
You got to wake back up because you're being put to sleep by the virtual reality, not reality. Virtual reality is that's the off ramp to destruction, to your own mental and spiritual destruction. They're going to tell you it's going to enhance your spirituality, but that's because there are people who don't know how to access the spirit. They can't access that internal dialogue that they're having with themselves because that the language and the person that they're talking to doesn't belong to them. They have an intruder inside, and that is the words and the language of someone that doesn't belong to them on their frequency. And everything about what's going on right now with technology is to set up disruptive frequencies to your higher consciousness. Okay, what it might have been reading at that time, because you might have plugged in somewhere along the line, mentioned it. And if you were standing anywhere around anything that had a two-way, a camera, you may have mentioned it, something. It's putting two and two together, and it's locking up with your psychology because it's already know your. Look, you're a celebrity itself. You're on the air all the time. You're telling people about yourself. You're telling me about yourself, and we're having this wonderful discourse. This thing is crunching data constantly.
Hmm.
It's the beast, and it's going to and this is why you have this guy Elon Musk talking about getting inside of your brain. I talked about that in the last one.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's getting into your brain. He wants to be able to lock you in so that you could operate your, oh, how fascinating. You could operate your car. You could operate your thing with this. You could operate, but then they can own, then they operate in you now.
Hmm.
You understand? So, yes, it probably was. It probably heard what you were saying. If you got a camera on your phone and you ain't blocked off that camera like I did, if you notice, you'll see that I have on my camera right here. You see that little pearl that I put
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
put that there. And there's one in the back of my phone too. The other cameras that they pick up, you got to, there's some form of privacy you need for yourself. I know that they got everything. I mean, they're listening to every call that you make. They're crunching the data for specific words, just like the algorithm. Why do you think the algorithm and the beast that is listening to this right now is not on tune looking for words? They're waiting for certain words so that they
Hmm.
can definitely shut you down.
Yeah.
They're in your brain. That's why I'm saying everything that you are dealing with right now is based on disruption. Everything is based on disruptive frequencies to your advancement in consciousness. You're getting conscious, but conscious that's being diverted away into a mechanical form of consciousness. You and the brain of that AI are becoming one. So you're going to start thinking like the AI.
Mm.
And the AI is what? Sexless. It's gender neutral.
Mm.
Ain't that what you want? That's what they want you to be?
Hence, that's why we what's the term they use? Binary. They're
Yeah.
saying all these terms. Okay.
Non-binary.
Non-binary. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who are you talking about? Binary was the first code that they used in in the computers. Zeros and ones. That was the binary system that started the computer system. Now that the computer system has become damn near human, they have to now make it non-binary, because they've gone to a whole other level of calculating data now, crunching data. So you are in the computer. Your thoughts, they've already found a way to map the Akasha, which is what we're going to be speaking about on Sunday. They're mapping the Akasha. The thoughts of your ancestors are being disrupted through harp, through suya, which is the Russian form of harp. They have set up a frequency fence around the dome.
Hmm. Do you have plans to eventually go off grid or to leave all technology alone, like your computer or your phone? Like, what do you
That's
think, Doc?
and you jumped ahead. You must have peeked in my notebook. um, that and building a home that essentially is encased in a Faraday cage.
What's that?
A Faraday cage is a kind of a lattice
Mm,
created out of steel that blocks all incoming signals
mm,
to read you.
mm,
It could be created directly into a room or a
mm.
wall so that it blocks. You can actually, in fact, um, when I go out to outside,
Why?
because it blocks anybody who is trying to say, you know how they say how
Oh,
people can come
and
and they can
still
pass
your
by you and steal your data.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I put my phone right in here, and once I lock this bad boy down, nothing goes in and out.
Mm,
They wouldn't even know where I am.
hmm. Now, does that help when you sleep? Because some people say turn off all your electronics when you sleep. Is
Yes, yes, we sleep in complete darkness as much as possible because we don't have a there's like a street lamp, not directly by our bedroom, but enough to have a kind of